Hey there, Gemini. It's time for your weekly horoscope for the coming 7 days. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, I've got a sale going on right now at my website, integrativemysticism.com, 20% off all services, including gift certificates, as well as now accepting tips and donations. You can do so again at integrativemysticism.com or follow the links below. For those of you who like the incoming waves, the incoming wave horoscope for this coming week is up on my main channel page, and the Build a Spread horoscope will be coming out this weekend as well. So, what is going on when it comes to this week for the Gemini energy or Gemini frequency? Well, this is going to be a week that is all about getting back in the saddle for a lot of you Gemini people, whether it's picking up things you've put down, getting do-over opportunities, starting things up over again. We've actually got the World card reversed as your spiritual theme or your overlight, what is going to be behind every situation or the maybe most common thread throughout the entirety of this week's experience. And with the World card reversed, I am seeing you getting back in the saddle. This could absolutely be starting up something that you had dropped, letting something back into your life as far as a project, a career path, a passion, something that you were doing creatively or with your own spiritual practice. There is something getting reignited, something getting new fuel, getting new fire, getting new power, and new, of course, potential as far as a higher future than maybe it could have before. Because with the World card reversed, we are seeing something that did at one point finish its own story, come full circle, but it does not necessarily mean that it was meant to be a one and done, one-off experience. In fact, it maybe is time for it to get started back up in order to actually begin its next evolution. And we actually see that as well in the cards to follow for your material concerns as it relates to your personal wealth, your finances, your job. We've got the Sun card reversed. And there's a bit of reform going on when it comes to your work life. Now, this could be a reform when it comes to the field you are working in, or maybe even just the office you're at, or the business you are serving, the organization you have a role in. But I'm seeing with the Sun card reversed, there is a purging of some kind of maybe negative influence or something that could have maybe gotten this industry, this job, this project, this field off course. Because with the Sun card reversed, we are burning away any kind of impurity, anything that could have maybe actually taken the spirit out of the work that you have been doing here. And the same thing can apply to anything that you've got going on that is strictly financial, any kind of blockages, or again, maybe a certain type of trend or a certain type of fashion or an influx of uncomplimentary people, influences, herd movements, all kinds of weird stuff like that is going through a bit of a correction this week. And if there are certain elements of maybe your work life, your career path that you wish you could enjoy again, we have an opportunity to get that spark back this week as we look at the Sun card in reverse, because it's all about making things less complicated, but also at the same time returning the soul and the spirit of something that may have lost its soul. Sometimes that can happen, believe me, when it comes to certain spiritual practices or paths or works, and if a certain fashion or trend or sensibility takes over, it can really distort what the true meaning is there. And the same thing can go on with your work, maybe the goings on with your peers and colleagues and bosses, or even financial efforts. But this is a time where some tremendous healing is asking you to get back in there, get back involved. And we can see this as well with the Six of Pentacles upright, where your community card, your friends, relatives, news that you're getting from the outside world is promising you investment when it comes to maybe material wealth or maybe tools and resources. Because I'm actually seeing this card coming in the form of physicalized affirmation when it comes to support for your efforts. Maybe support for something that you are trying to get off the ground, such as a project, or, as I'm looking at that World card reversed, once again, something that you have actually decided to restart, bring back to the world, bring back as something that you wish to serve with or to offer people, to assist people with, it's going to get a very, very positive reception. In fact, with the Six of Pentacles, and it's encouraged, by the way, that if you asked people and if you actually let it be known that this is where you are going with kicking your work up a notch, or again, getting back on the saddle, you're going to find that people are going out of their way to actually encourage this. If you've already been asking for maybe some backup, some investment, or something to fortify yourself as you go forward, the Six of Pentacles, as you've heard me say before, is very much one of the very few cut and dry yes answer cards of the tarot deck. As we get on to your challenge or your lessons this week that may present as a challenge, we've got the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And this is all about letting your walls drop, drawing back the drapes and the shades, letting go of any kind of maybe veils that you have put up, any shields that you've been putting up that may actually be keeping positive reinforcement or support out of your life. Because with the Four of Pentacles reversed, sometimes what can happen is that it may be doing such a good job of keeping the big scary boogeyman away, but at the same time, it is also saying no thank you to every bit of support that you wish would just maybe try to hurdle that wall anyway. It's not going to happen that way. You've got to make sure that you are actually being open. Because of the Four of Pentacles reversed, we're also letting down our guard when it comes to things that maybe left a bad taste in our mouths or left a bad memory. We talk about the Four of Pentacles reversed and the World card reversed. We're talking about bringing things back to life, reviving things to enjoy in our lives that maybe we almost have some painful memories about, that we almost want to overprotect ourselves from or overshield ourselves from. And this is where the challenge really is, because when you have the Four of Pentacles reversed, the lesson is very, very simple. You can't force something to stay where it was in the past and get better at the same time. Sometimes when we think something can't change, it's because there's an element of us that is afraid of change. And therefore, we can sometimes throw that out at people. And sometimes that's also what's going on in an opposite respect as well. I've seen this 1,000 times when I'm doing readings for people. It's like they will be convinced that maybe a certain work project or a certain person can't change. But in reality, it's what they've done is to protect themselves from maybe the unpleasant emotions associated. They've frozen that circumstance in time. And when they freeze it in time, then it's black and white. It's truly simple. But it doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't grow. So it's like the idea of saying something can't change, well, then so it is. In your mind, in your experience, this will never change for you. Got to get out of that. Remember, we're not doing black and white anymore. It's better to live in color. As we get on to your relationships when it comes to love and romance, we actually have the Ace of Wands in reverse. And there is something that needs to maybe get reignited, or something that is going to get a chance to be reignited. Because the Ace of Wands reversed is talking about a need to start up a fire that has not burned in some time. And this could actually be going on within an existing relationship, possibly a pastime, a type of maybe romantic communication, or maybe something as a quality in our lives, something that we used to do, a way we used to live that, actually was a very deep spark, a very big inspiration for this relationship to stay on the highest trajectory. It might have actually been very motivating, very healing, very inspiring and energizing all at the same time. And with the Ace of Wands reversed, we're actually seeing it might be something that we had abandoned, or something that we had toned down too far, something that we also understand makes us actually better at what we do for having it in our lives as a form of nourishment. It's a form of energy that, we and our partners have a chance to get back on the saddle with as well. As we get on to those of you who are currently single or available to new people, the Ace of Wands reversed is indicating that there is something going on where you may be finding that we want to reinvestigate. Now, of course, this could also be showing up in the form of a new person that embodies that opportunity. So I don't want people to think that this is always going to show up as like an ex or an old flame. It might, but it may also just simply be somebody who embodies that old relationship dynamic. Sometimes we stop trying to have a certain type of relationship because it might not seem, quote, practical, unquote, in the eyes of others, or it may not necessarily be something that that we feel is speaking to the representational self, which is also going away. Reconsider maybe a course or a relationship ideal that you had thrown in the trash, but luckily never got hauled away. So that is what I've got for you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because you know I appreciate it. And should you ever want to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.